was Tully Blanchard.
Oh, okay, yes. Do you mind telling them the story?
No, there's a shoe store in Atlanta that caters. It's every athlete in every major sport goes to Bruce Friedman's shoe store in downtown Atlanta. He carries in like size 20 alligator shoes now, right? So, glad that a mistake. I went in there one day, and I was there at the same time as Pete Rose, Dave Parker, Dave Concepcion, like four of the Reds were there. I spent like 30 grand, so I said, I gotta hang around these guys. I spent like 10 grand on shoes one day. It's like 5 pairs of shoes. I mean, that's what's something. But that was what got me going on the alligator shoes. Hence, these shoes cost more than your house, brother. You know, WrestleMania is, you know, the event and the marquee value and all the stuff that goes into it, but you know, as Santino would tell, we wrestle in arenas every night with this screaming and hollering. You know, that's a bigger venue. Like where I retired at the Citrus Bowl was like 78,000, you know. But you know, sometimes, believe it or not, it's being a 20,000 seat when the building's rocking is even better to work in front of than a stadium, you know, because the people can't really see you sometimes when they're not sitting ringside, you know. So, no, it's awesome. But what makes WrestleMania spectacular is the stuff that goes into the show, and the pyro and the set, and everybody knows it's our marquee event. It's Super Bowl. I mean, if I was a wrestling fan, and I tell football players all the time, WrestleMania is a cooler event than the Super Bowl.
1,000%.
Or the NBA All-Star Game. You know, they got the guys walking through the entrances, you know, into the building now, their headphones on. We've been doing that for 20 years. Hello. No, Vince is a genius, man. Everybody picks up our stuff, you know. But if you go to WrestleMania, and you're sitting in that crowd and you're watching the pyro and the entrances and the guys coming out. I mean, like, Chris, what's got an entrance like Undertaker in any business, right? I don't care. I love LeBron James. I got a man crush on LeBron. But when he walks out the door, it's not as cool as what Undertaker does. It just is what it is. It's cool, you know, and it's the same like when the 100s entered this year with my daughter was on the float, so that was pretty cool. But the stuff they do and the money they spend, you know, to give these guys these entrances, you know, it is what it is. If I was 35 years old, they'd have to pay me $50 million a year right now. That's somewhere I had a pair of shoes. I mean, that's what's...
This week's Gorilla Position exclusive features former WWE enhancement talent, or jobber, Brad McLeod, otherwise known as Pain, while hanging out on the set of Saving Hope.
You get to the arena. You keep your nose clean, your head down, your eyes down, and just shake every hand that gets in your way. You find gorilla position, and back to that, I don't know what it is now, but back when this was in, like I said, 96, 97, 98, gorilla position, you see your name and your opponent, and there's like a time, or one of the names was underlined, that's who's going over, and a time limit. And maybe you get a road agent, Pat Patterson or someone, who'll come up and say, give you like a 2-minute spiel on what you're doing. Dark matches didn't have a lot of the choreography that the rest of the matches do. So, yeah, and then you go back, maybe you talk about your match, you find your corner you find a corner in the locker room, if they'll let you in. And what I was told to do by the people that brought me in was shake the hand of everybody who's there. Always give up your seat to the guys coming before you. Always show respect. A lot of times I dressed in the corner, like here. Like this is where I'm getting my ring gear on and the whole spiel. Because, sir, you sit there. Yep. Oh, would you like to sit here, sir? I said, yeah, I'll give up my seat. There you go, sir. Nice to meet you. I'm pleasure to meet you. I got 6 inches of space. Now, I'm a big dude. I'm 250 pounds. I'm 6'2". I have this much space to change my ring gear in because I don't want to get into his personal space or his personal space. And that gets your respect.
Now, tell me a little bit about your experience with Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
So you said that you wrestled his first dark match or something?
Dark match.
Oh, his last dark match. I'm sorry.
Before his debut. I'm pretty sure it was his last dark. It was one of his last dark matches, about 3 months before his debut. It was him and Ron Waterman versus myself and Sin, who would later become Kazarni. And the match was a lot like every other match, except I remember he comes out to the ring. Sin and I are already out, and he's doing his, and I'm just looking at this guy going, he's a big bat, and words can't describe how big Lesnar was back then. He lost some weight going into UFC. Words can't describe how big this guy was. He was just a monster. So I started off in the ring with him. I go for a collar and elbow tie-up, and the only thing I'm thinking is, please know how to work. Because if he didn't know how to work, if he was green, he'd kill me. So we lock up with the collar and elbow. I call for a punch to the head. I go flying across the ring, going, oh, he knows how to work.
Oh.
And we had a great match.
Wow.
He threw me around like a ragdoll. He was 335. I was 250. He hit me all over the place.
Here's a question for you. Were you a victim of the F5? Did he have the F5 at that time?
I did not have the F5 there.
Okay, no, I was about to ask you, like, was he stiff? Did it hurt? Anything hurt?
He wasn't stiff at all.
Oh, really?
He was professional, but he was professional.
Were you surprised by his success in the UFC?
No, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely not. What about him going over the Taker, being the 1 in 21-1?
That pissed me off.
Did it really?
That.
But if anybody was to win it,
Danielson, anybody up and coming, why Lesnar? Why Lesnar?
wow. Here's a question for you. WWE comes calling you. What role would you like with that company? We know that you can't work because you had a neck injury, but what would you take on if you had an opportunity?
Ref.
Ref?
I'd love to ref again. You were bringing up a manager before, maybe. I don't know. I could probably talk. Thing is, I take my inspiration from the darker people. I love Taker. I love James Mitchell. I love people like Muda. I love the darker guys, so I don't think there'd be space for me, because I do like a Father James Mitchell kind of thing.
A day in the life of a jobber.
Okay, a little bit of credence, so what I'm talking about. I trained with Square Circle Wrestling, Square Circle Training at Fuego in Windsor. I trained with Sully's, and I wrestled for AWF, Border City, and a lot of just the indies around here, Apocalypse, and whatnot. But anyway, day in the life of a jobber.
Let the good times roll before it's too late. Ooh.